Hello everyone, my name is Lisa Frankel. My oral report is based on Looking Forward, Looking Back, the art of reflective practice within the education profession. Before we begin, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge and pay homage to the Bundjalung people on whose land I currently reside. I have been given the opportunity and honour of being located in Bundjalung country in close proximity to the base of Mount Warning adjacent to the Tweed River. This region helped to support the livelihood of the traditional owners of this land. As a representative of Curtin University, I am proud to pay tribute to the Bundjalung people. As an active participant in reconciliation, I am committed to supporting equality that respects past, present and future. I move forward with honour and In this presentation, I'll be discussing reflective practice and its purpose in both the educational setting and private environment. I will examine how reflective practice can aid the individual to make significant choices for their future through the art of looking back. What is reflective practice? Grelier and Gewerk, 2010, suggests think of the reflective thinking process as pondering on a chain of questions, with each question leading to another, without looking to find definite, permanent answers. Winston Churchill stated, "The further backward you can look, the further forward you are likely to see." In relation to Grelier and Gewerk and Churchill's above statements, an individual should question not only what they're thinking, but why and how. This leads to various other linked questions. An example of this would be, am I required to have a goal? What is my goal? Can I learn new ideas to reach my goal? What new ideas have I learnt? How do my new ideas connect with previously studied knowledge? As you can see, the purple is looking forward and the green is looking back. I was fascinated to learn in Grelier and Gewerk that not all questions need or even have a fixed answer. Some questions lead to other questions, making the reflector a more profound. As an educator, it is important to take part in reflective practice. Spalding and Wilson, 2002, argue, reflective thinking is essential to identifying, analysing and solving the complex problems that characterise classroom teaching. By using reflective practice, an educator can solve problems that occur within a classroom setting, but also problems that may arise within their own personal life and Reflective practice should be used in an educational setting not only to benefit the teacher, who looks at their own ideas and practices, but also the students. Each individual learns in different ways, therefore educators should look at how they reflect in order to formulate new ideas and strategies for teaching to make sure they reach each child within their classroom setting. Barry and King, 2006, proposed the use of the Plan, Teach, Evaluate model for good reflective practices, as shown in Figure 2. The model shows that although reflection is a specific part of the process, it is linked and intertwined throughout the entire model. So it's not just one specific moment set aside for reflective purposes. Reflection takes place at all stages of the model, so you can re-evaluate yourself, your subject matter, and whether or not you're... Adrian Underhill, 2012, suggests that teachers can use reflective practice not only in a professional setting, but also in their everyday lives. He speaks of the advantages and disadvantages of reflective practice and how to make it work for you.
Well, you go to your classroom, you want to teach so well, you think you've done your best, but you just can't tell. So you have to reflect and ask yourself why. You prepared it so well, but your lesson was so dry. So reflect on your own or with a critical friend. Reflect on what you did and try not to pretend. Yes, reflect, reflect, and please do not neglect to try out something different next time. Oh yeah, to try out something different next time. I got the reflection blues. The reflection blues. Well, you want to have fun, but you always look so glum. You want to listen to your students, but you talk all the time. So reflect when you listen, reflect when you speak, reflect every morning, every day of the week. You're the very best of teachers, on that we all agree. Your students are so happy that it's plain for all to see. Still, you must reflect, reflect, and please do not neglect to try out something different every time. Oh yeah, to try out something different every time. I got the reflection blues, the reflection blues. Well, you have videoed your practice. You've recorded every class. You've gathered so much data. It's coming out your ears. I think I'm being so helpful, but I'm just getting in the way when I always ask for feedback every single day. Here, observation. It's just what I need. I write reflective journals, they are so much fun to read. But by talking with you, my reflections come true. And I try out something different every day. Oh yeah, I try out something different every day. And I got the reflection blues. The reflection blues. Well, if you want to make a difference, there's one thing I must say. You should stick with IATEFL. It will help you on your way. It will help you to reflect, to learn and not neglect, to try out something different every day. Oh yes, to try out something different every day. Yeah, yeah. Reflection for me and you. Oh yeah. Reflection is the thing to do. Oh yes.
The advantages of reflective practice. You learn more about yourself as a person, what you can and can't achieve, and how to make your goals and dreams a reality. You better yourself as a scholar. In my case, you learn how to write a thesis statement in less than 20 attempts. You're trained to think about the ways in which you think and make improvements to these processes. You develop a deeper understanding of your profession and everyday life. Greater effectiveness as a professional. Validation of your personal and professional ideals, including morals, values, and ethics. Positive challenges to traditional ways of thinking about ideas. High regard for diversity and new ways of approaching various subject matter. The disadvantages of reflective practice. Dishonestly reflecting yourself. This practice relates to people who are afraid of doing poorly. However, the individual who takes part in the practice of dishonest reflection will not learn anything, as they do not consider any mistakes they have made. Casting blame. Some individuals will use the reflective practice to cast blame onto others for a job done inadequately. These individuals will not benefit from this practice. Time is a factor when taking part in reflective practice. Those who don't make time or have inferior time management skills will be unable to do a thorough reflection. In the long run, will have adverse effects. Memory. It is important that you reflect on each stage of an activity or idea. For some, this poses a problem as the mind can miss even the smallest detail. You can be over-analytical and pick problems, situations, conversations, and even people's attitudes to pieces, leaving nothing more than an empty shell and frustratingly no answer. Reflective practice should be used in our everyday lives. An example of the use of everyday reflection can be seen in the A.A. Milne classic Winnie the Pooh. Here is Edward Bear, coming down the stairs now, bump, 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 on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs, but sometimes he feels that there really is another way, if only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. Just like Edward Bear, who we now know as Winnie the Pooh, once the bumping stops, we can think. In other words, once an activity and an idea has run its course, it's all about reflective practice and finding new ways to do things and new ideas to formulate. We then put into practice the Plan, Teach, Evaluate model as seen on slide 7 and adjust it for every situation that arises. It is necessary for us to learn from others' mistakes. You will not live long enough to make them all yourself. By using the reflective practice skills that are learnt in the professional setting, this goes for any profession, not just teaching, the individual can be assured of making positive decisions in their own personal lives, learning from any mistakes they have made and also the mistakes of others. In conclusion, reflective practice is a lifelong process that can be used in both a professional setting as well as in everyday life. Reflective practice allows us to understand that questions can be linked and can help link new ideas with old ideas. It also enables us to appreciate that some questions lead to more questions, which makes us think deeper about the issue and the world around us. Although there are some disadvantages to reflective practice, the positive advantages far outweigh the negative. To move forward successfully, we must look at the past. Reflective practice allows us to learn from our mistakes and the mistakes of others. Thank you for listening.